Now, with the most recent episode of Fear the Walking Dead, a very exciting moment has happened, and in my opinion, that Fear the Walking Dead episode was one of the best, if not the best episode I've watched for Fear, and the ending of that was insane. So today I want to talk about that and make my own theories about the future of The Walking Dead based off that ending. Now, before we actually get into the video, I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe, and let's reach that 1,000 subscriber goal. I know that we could do it, and so far, thank you all of you for subscribing and viewing my content, and let's reach that 1,000 subscriber goal. I know that we could do it. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. And now the moment I'm actually talking about is Morgan Jones going to look for Rick, and I am so excited about this. It's one of the best things that came out of Fear, right? One of the best things that actually came out of recent Walking Dead. It's just this moment alone. You guys don't know how excited I am. It's because Morgan is definitely my top 5 from most favorite characters. Rick is in there, Negan's in there, and Daryl's in there, but we'll talk about that another day. And it's just so good to see that they're actually mentioning Rick, and Morgan actually talks on the radio, and it's a good callback to season 1 when Morgan actually got that walkie-talkie from Rick, and Rick told him that every day at dawn turn the radio on, and I'll be there, I'll try contacting you. And Morgan's doing the same thing, and I think that this moment, it alone is just a lot of callbacks to the Walking Dead main series. One is the walkie-talkie, Morgan talking to Rick and trying to get his message across. 2 is because the ending right there was actually at Eastman's grave, aka the cheesemaker, right, where Morgan he actually learned the staff with him, and he became a calmer man, and he became more caring for human life. And what I noticed is that Morgan is starting his journey again from there. And what do I mean by that is because we actually see in the episode where he actually talks about when he was with Eastman right after his whole clear phase, and then once he made it out of there, and then he was looking for Rick, right? He was looking for a place to stay, or he was looking for Rick, and he was actually following the trails that Rick left, right? For example, no sanctuary for Terminus, and just all of the all of the markings on the trees and stuff like that. And it would be so cool that that if Morgan were to go to these places again, if you were to see a rundown Terminus, if you were to see Gabriel's church, right? And and another thing to point out is that he was actually saying that, oh yeah, I don't know if you're at Alexandria or not, but I'm gonna look for you. So it's a very good chance that Morgan goes to Alexandria first, or he gets some sort of radio transmission from Rick at the CRM, or he gets some clue that Rick was taken, or something like that, right? And I just want to see Morgan going on this journey. Now, how do I think this journey is going to be playing out? It's we all know that this is Morgan's last episode in Fear. Episode 6 was Morgan's last episode on Fear, so then they actually could focus more on Madison, and bring in Alicia and stuff like that, bring in Troy. And when it comes to Morgan's journey, I think that Lenny James, he wanted to keep it open-ended, right? They wanted to keep it open-ended. They didn't want to kill off the character, because just in case if he wanted to come back for the character, so they were whatever, he's gonna go look for Rick. Now, when it comes to that, this could go either way, right? Morgan could have his own spin-off. This could spin off to a Morgan series where he looks for Rick. But this episode of Fear really did remind me of Michonne's last episode, where she actually went looking for Rick, and then she just didn't show up in the Walking Dead main series again. Now, again, I think that either Morgan's going to get his own spin-off, or Morgan is going to be in the Walking Dead Summit Season 2. And I know, again, that's assuming if Summit does get a Season 2, but with recent rumors and leaks and all that, it seems kind of 50-50 that if Summit's getting a Season 2, but if Summit does have a Season 2, it would be perfect to have Morgan in Summit. Or even if Fear gets this post-credit scene, or the very last episode of Fear, we see Morgan again, finally going to the CRM, or being taken to the CRM, how we saw in season 11's finale for the main show. It'd be very cool to see that. And I actually have another theory on how does Morgan meet Rick. And this theory goes back to my what if The Walking Dead were to have a movie, or if a Walking Dead movie is going to happen. and I genuinely think that they are going in that direction of a movie, of a big like reuniting moment for all these characters. It's because, like, if Morgan doesn't get his own spin-off and if Summit doesn't have a season 2, then why did they even set this up in the first place? I think that they're setting this up due to a big crossover event that they're going to go for, because at the end of the day that you see that, like, all of these characters are making their way towards Rick, right? Like, I mean, Daryl is looking for Rick, now Morgan is looking for Rick, and Negan and Maggie, they're doing their own thing, but I think in the end of that, they're either gonna stumble upon Rick or stumble upon the CRM and just find Rick unintentionally, or they're gonna get some message that, oh yeah, Rick is still out there. I don't know if Negan would be willing to look for Rick, nor even Maggie, right? Because then she wouldn't want to like risk her son or risk herself just to look for Rick, even though that's a huge thing. But again, like in the apocalypse, they have to look for themselves first. But again, like, if that big possibility comes that there's a Walking Dead movie, and by the looks of it, again, it does look like that they're doing a Walking Dead movie and they're setting up towards that, it'd be very cool. And I think that we're gonna see Morgan's story be continued in a movie, or in some sort of like Tales of the Walking Dead type thing, or even if they do some sort of Morgan spin-off, right? Because again, Morgan is such a great character. I love Morgan's character so much that I personally do believe that he deserves his own spin-off, just him and Mo going to look for Rick, or him dropping off Mo to Alexandria first, because he actually sees that, like, Alexandria or the Commonwealth is like a huge place now and it's so safe for kids. So then it would give Morgan, like, some assurance that, yeah, Mo is safe with these people that I trust. And it's just it would give a very interesting story. And just having them set up that Walking Dead new generation, which it does look like that they're setting up, and actually have Mo and Judith become friends, right? Because again, like, these two characters are very similar, right? Like two children that, like, learned a lot from their parent, and they're using their fighting style, where Judith uses like Michonne's katana and her teachings, and Mo uses Morgan's teachings. And also we have seen this type of like moment where, like, somebody left someone to look for Rick, right? Like, we saw this with Michonne, right? She left Judith to look for Rick. And again, we do see that again in the end of season 11, that Daryl left to look for Rick. And Morgan does look like he's gonna be doing that as well. He's gonna like leave Mo to look for Rick. And this does show that how important Rick is to Morgan. But again, like, Morgan did say that, like, we're gonna go look for my friend that we were talking about. So again, we could see a Morgan spin-off that, like, like Morgan and Mo together, like, just looking for Rick Grimes, right? And just Mo hearing all these stories about Rick, on how did he stop the war, how did he bring peace in like 3 communities and stuff like that. Again, like, just them setting up everything with Rick after so long, like, of just like waiting for them to even mention this character, and then just ramping it up to, like, oh yeah, actually saying his name and making him like the center point of this whole story. It's just amazing, right? And now another theory I have is that Morgan is going to stumble upon Victor Strand. And now we don't know whether Victor is going to be in Fear Season 8. It does seem likely that Victor is going to be in Fear Season 8, or at least we're going to see, like, where is he? Did he make it to the CRM? Because, like, the general theory is that the voice that we heard at the end of Season 11 from the helicopter when, the CRM actually tracked down Rick, trying to escape, everyone, like, thinks that that's Victor Strand. And personally, I do think that that's Victor Strand. It's because the voices are just way too similar. So again, Victor could give Morgan, like, some hint that Rick is at the CRM, or he could even just straight up tell him and help him get there, right? We don't know about that. So again, like, Victor Strand would be a perfect way to connect Morgan and Rick together, because again, like, if he's at the CRM, right, that's a direct connection to Fear, and if he's that voice from season 11, that's a direct connection to Rick. So again, that'd be it's just an opportunity that you can't miss. Now, other than the movie, because I personally think that the movie is a perfect way to put a close to all these characters' story, and just have like this whole big reuniting moment with like all of these characters. If they don't go for a movie, I think that they might actually just do a Walking Dead like season 12, like a special season for The Walking Dead, and just have like all of these characters, like the Fear characters, and Morgan, Rick, all of these characters just like meeting each other, and just this one season being a special final season for all of these characters, and just have them versus the CRM, have them go against the CRM. I think that's another good way for them to execute this. And now that's it for today's video, and I just really wanted to make this video because I was just so excited about Morgan coming in, and as soon as I saw that moment, as soon as he said Rick Grimes on the walkie-talkie, so many theories came in my head, and just so many ideas just came in my head. It was just insane. So I really want to make a video sharing my thoughts about this. But other than that, I would like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And, let's try getting to that 1,000 subscriber goal. And, again, thank you all of you for subscribing and, viewing my content. And I really do appreciate, like, the love and support y'all are giving me. And other than that, let's try getting to that 1,000 subscriber goal because I know that we could do it. Thank you.